Welcome back to Goons Farm.
Glad you made it back.
Sorry.
Hopefully you liked what you've seen so far. We're going to try and keep bringing you some more of our nonsense.
Some more nonsense, and a topic came up on our last show where we showed some footage of Lancelot Link and the Evolution Revolution, which to me is epic. I mean, it's definitely something that was hilarious from my childhood.
You got chimps with guitars. You can't go wrong with that.
But it got me thinking, what are some potential other shows from my youth that would be pretty cool or funny if they were to make a new version of it here in 2016, which maybe could be even better than the original.
Well, that's a lot. Say.
Yeah.
Dare I say. Why not?
So the first show that came to my mind, which is an absolute classic from the 70s and the 80s, is The Love Boat.
Oh, The Love Boat, yeah.
Classic. And I think The Love Boat, which I don't think it ever... One, I don't think many people are running around talking about The Love Boat, but The Love Boat was kind of the original version of Entourage, because there was a lot of star cameos on The Love Boat.
Every week
There was someone new. And
not just then, they were big stars. The biggest stars of the day.
They were.
Plus Charo.
And you can't go wrong with Charo shaking that ass. But but the thing about The Love Boat is, if you were to do it now, not only would you have the opportunity to bring in, today's generation of actors and recording artists and all that.
And Kardashians.
And the Kardashians. But great in theory. The problem is, realistically, if we were to remake The Love Boat, most of the footage would be like every third day on the cruise of that specific vacation. They'd have to either, vacate the boat because everyone gets ill and is throwing up, or the boat would get stuck and tip over and death would occur.
So instead of stopping at Puerto Vallarta and Cancun, they would stop because there's a salmonella outbreak.
Exactly.
Or they got stuck on an Italian reef.
Because the gopher didn't wash his hands.
The gopher had poop hands. So everyone got sick.
He gave you the bad ice from Mexico.
Yes. Yes.
Not the bagged ice.
No.
The hotel ice.
The gopher ice. All right, so Love Boat coming back. That would be interesting.
But if they could do without the tragedy and illness and death, those of you out in Hollywood, if you, I challenge you, bring back The Love Boat. Another option, I think this would be brilliant, would be Married with Children.
Yeah, the Bundys.
The Bundys, but specifically, that character needs to live on
Al
in
Bundy.
a new version. Ed Bundy.
Al Bundy.
Ed Bundy ate people, or didn't he kill people?
That was Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
Let's bring back Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Let's put Ted Bundy on The Love Boat.
Or put Ted Bundy on Married with Children. I mean, you want to? It's a modern version.
Ted Bundy.
Dad is a shoe salesman during the day and a serial killer at night.
That's Dexter, though, minus the shoes.
You got to have the shoes. That was Al Bundy's thing.
Yeah, you do.
Now Ted Bundy.
I just don't know. Like back, for some reason, that seems so believable when we were kids that someone made a living and supported a whole family selling shoes.
Yeah.
When's the last time you met an adult that doesn't live with their parents,
could support two kids, a wife in a suburban home
by selling shoes?
And this family were a bunch of, they were a waste. They were terrible.
Yeah. Well.
What other shows do you have on your list? Any other shows that you really want to be have brought back to the world here?
Well, there's several. To me, another classic that I loved watching, and I wish I could almost identify why I loved it as much as I did, was The Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls?
With
Betty White and the
Betty
old ladies?
White and the rest of the old hens. But
so you want to remake Golden Girls?
I want to make, yes, and just simply because of Blanche. I mean,
you kind of had a thing for Blanche, didn't you?
Well, she was hot to trot, and she worked the town, and the town worked her.
Yes, that's true. She was.
I don't know. It's just what a cool that show was before its time. I mean, who would ever think you'd be able to make like a sitcom comedy about 4 old women
And actually have it be funny.
and it worked?
Yeah, well, that's true.
I mean, because and then here we are today. I don't even know at least 25 years later, and Betty White is still relevant.
She could still star in it.
She could still star.
Could be Betty White and 3 other old ladies.
Betty White. I saw something about Betty White the other day online, and I found out sadly it was not true. It was a photo of her when she was supposed to be like 23, and I was like, "Damn, that's what Betty White used to look like." And then I found out it wasn't her, but it was another like model from that era.
It was Blanche, wasn't it?
It was Blanche.
Wow, that explains a lot.
I think most importantly, though, if there's ever going to be a remake of another sitcom, family style, it's got to be Growing Pains.
Growing Pains?
Growing Pains for one reason only, is that they had a TV character named Boner.
That's true.
On network TV, there was just... and no one ever seemed to fuss about it. But it seems like now if we did that, it's so not PC to have the neighborhood kid called Boner.
If you had a teenage daughter, you wouldn't want Boner coming around your back door. That's all. Right? Am I right? Yeah, so there you have it. If there's anyone out there in Hollywood that's looking to make a new TV show, let's remake one of these.
I agree.
And then add in hee-haw.
Can't go wrong with hee-haw.